Did you just receive an unexpected deposit from the IRS? If so, you're not alone. Thousands of Americans are waking up to find mysterious payments of $9,700 appearing in their bank accounts this week. And here's the shocking part. This is a scam. It is a legitimate IRS error that has been publicly acknowledged. Moreover, the most unbelievable aspect is that the government is not asking for the money back. I'm here to break down exactly what is happening with these duplicate stimulus payments, who is eligible, why the Treasury Department made this unprecedented decision, and most importantly, what you need to do if you've received one of these payments or are still waiting for yours. Before diving into the details, if you want to stay updated on financial news that could put thousands of dollars in your pocket, please subscribe and turn on notifications. This channel is dedicated to helping hardworking Americans navigate financial opportunities, especially in these unpredictable economic times. The financial world was thrown into confusion yesterday when reports began flooding social media about mysterious $9,700 deposits appearing in bank accounts nationwide. Initially dismissed as potential scams, these payments were quickly confirmed as legitimate IRS transactions, resulting from a massive processing error in their latest stimulus distribution system. According to internal documents that have now been made public, a critical software malfunction occurred during the batch processing of the most recent economic relief payments, causing approximately 340,000 approved stimulus payments to be duplicated and resulting in thousands of Americans receiving double their intended stimulus amount. The error specifically affected individuals and families who had qualified for the maximum stimulus amount and who had received their original payments through direct deposit between February 15th and February 22nd, while the duplicate payments began appearing in accounts on February 28th, creating widespread confusion among recipients. What makes this situation truly extraordinary is the Treasury Department's unprecedented response. In a press briefing held earlier today, Treasury Secretary Janet Anderson announced that due to the administrative burden of recovering these funds and the current economic hardships faced by many Americans, the government has decided not to pursue the return of these duplicate payments. Anderson explained that while the significant processing error is acknowledged, the cost of recovery would exceed any potential benefit. And in recognition of the ongoing economic challenges many families face, these duplicate payments are considered additional economic relief. Recipients will not be required to return these funds nor face any tax penalties related to these payments. To break this down further, who exactly is receiving these double payments? The duplicate funds are going specifically to individuals and families who qualified for the full stimulus amount based on income thresholds determined from their most recent tax filings. Singles with adjusted gross incomes under $75,000 and married couples filing jointly with incomes under $150,000 who receive the maximum payment are the primary recipients. However, if you haven't received a duplicate payment yet, should you expect one? According to IRS spokesperson Michael Reynolds, the error was isolated to specific processing batches and has since been corrected in the system. This means that if you haven't received a duplicate payment by March 5th, you likely won't receive one. Nonetheless, Reynolds noted that a small percentage of additional duplicate payments might still be processing through the banking system, estimating that approximately 15,000 more duplicate payments may appear in accounts over the next 3 to 5 business days. This raises another critical question. Is this money truly free to use with no strings attached? Legal experts confirm that according to the Treasury Department's official statement, recipients are provided with a high degree of protection. Professor Elizabeth Warren of Harvard Law School, an expert in bankruptcy and financial regulations, explained that the Treasury's public declaration not to pursue recovery effectively prevents any reversal of that decision, imposing significant legal barriers against later attempts to recover these funds. Recipients can generally use these funds without concern for future liability, especially given the explicit assurance that no tax penalties will apply. Yet, ethical considerations remain. While it is ultimately a personal decision, many financial advisors suggest that recipients who do not urgently need these funds consider donating a portion to local charities that support those still struggling with economic hardship. Skeptics might wonder whether this is truly happening or merely an elaborate hoax. The evidence is unequivocal This is a legitimate situation confirmed by multiple government agencies. The Treasury Department, the IRS, and even the White House have acknowledged the error in official statements, and major news outlets like CNN, Fox News, and CNBC have verified the story with government sources. This incident not only exposes vulnerabilities in our digital financial infrastructure, but also serves as a reminder that government payment systems are not infallible. While similar errors have occurred before, this is one of the largest in terms of financial impact. In 2020, during the first round of stimulus payments, approximately 1.1 million payments were sent to deceased individuals, necessitating clawback efforts. But this time, the government's response is markedly different. Economic analysts suggest that this decision may have been influenced by factors including the high administrative costs of recovery, the relatively limited total amount involved, approximately $3.3 billion within a multi-trillion-dollar budget, and potential political considerations as midterm elections approach. For those who have received one of these duplicate payments, financial advisors recommend several prudent steps. First, document everything by taking screenshots of the deposit and saving any related communications. Second, be cautious about making large purchases immediately. Financial experts advise waiting at least 30 days before making any significant financial decisions based on these unexpected funds, which allows time for any potential policy clarifications and ensures that the deposit has fully cleared. And third, be vigilant about potential scams, as fraudsters may exploit the confusion, noting that the IRS has already warned about fraudulent calls and emails from individuals claiming to be from the IRS or Treasury Department requesting personal financial information. It is important to remember that government agencies will never contact you via phone, text, or email to ask for personal banking details. Looking at the broader economic picture, while $3.3 billion might seem enormous to an individual, economists like Dr. Jonathan Miller, chief economist at the Pacific Institute for Financial Research, explained that in the context of a $25 trillion economy, this amount is too small to significantly affect inflation or other macroeconomic indicators. It is a windfall for those affected, but it will not move the overall economic needle in any meaningful way. What makes this situation particularly notable is its unprecedented nature. While payment errors have occurred in the past, the decision not to pursue recovery on this scale represents a significant departure from standard procedures. Typically, when overpayments occur, the government issues notices requiring repayment, sometimes with payment plan options if the amount is substantial. Political analysts believe that the timing of this error, amid ongoing economic anxiety and relatively low approval ratings for economic management, has made the political cost of reclaiming these funds from hundreds of thousands of Americans too high, in addition to the significant administrative burden that would be incurred in processing repayments from 340,000 individuals. There is also considerable debate regarding the fairness of the situation, as many Americans who did not receive duplicate payments question why some received this unexpected windfall while others did not. Treasury officials emphasize that this was an unintentional error rather than a targeted program, and their focus is on ensuring that future distributions are handled correctly instead of correcting this specific mistake. For those who did receive these unexpected funds, financial advisors are offering tailored recommendations. If you have outstanding high-interest debt, using these funds to pay down credit cards or personal loans could result in significant interest savings over time. If you lack an emergency savings fund, it is advisable to establish one that covers at least 3 to 6 months of expenses. And for those who are financially secure, investing these funds or using them for necessary home repairs or improvements could provide long-term benefits. This situation is also remarkable because it highlights the massive scale and complexity of government payment systems. The IRS processes hundreds of millions of transactions annually, and even a small error rate can affect hundreds of thousands of Americans. In response, there have been calls to modernize these critical government financial systems, many of which still rely on decades-old technology and processing methods. Technology experts point out that duplicate processing of approved payments is a known vulnerability in batch processing systems, and modern financial technology typically incorporates multiple verification layers to prevent such issues. This incident may well accelerate ongoing efforts to update these systems. Legally, while the Treasury has stated it will not recover the funds, some experts note that this does not entirely prevent future administrative or policy reversals. However, the public nature of the announcement and the potential political backlash make any reversal highly unlikely. Tax implications have also been clarified. The duplicate payments will not be considered taxable income, nor will they affect tax refunds or future tax obligations, consistent with the treatment of the original stimulus payments designed as advances on tax credits to avoid creating additional tax liabilities. For individuals concerned about how these funds might affect their eligibility for government benefits, officials have clarified that the payments will not count as income for determining eligibility for federal programs such as SNAP, Medicaid, or housing assistance, though it is possible that saved funds could eventually impact eligibility if they push recipients over asset limits. Looking forward, this incident offers insight into potential future stimulus efforts. While no additional packages are currently pending in Congress, the event underscores both the capabilities and limitations of our current distribution systems and the significant impact direct government payments can have on individual households, particularly those at lower and middle income levels. In summary, if you have received a duplicate stimulus payment of $9,700, you are permitted to keep and use these funds without worry about repayment or tax penalties. If you have only received the original stimulus payment and no duplicate by March 5th, it is unlikely that you will receive another unless the payment arrives before that date. And if you believe you qualify for a stimulus payment but have not yet received any funds, you should use the IRS Get My Payment tool or contact their dedicated hotline at 1-800-900-19983. This extraordinary situation not only highlights both the strengths and vulnerabilities of our government financial systems, but also serves as a reminder of how errors can have significant impacts on everyday Americans and families. Furthermore, additional analysis and expert opinions suggest that while such errors are rare, they provide an opportunity for critical improvements in how government payments are processed, ultimately benefiting the public in the long term. If you found this information helpful, please like and subscribe to stay updated on financial news that could affect your bottom line. And feel free to drop a comment with your thoughts or questions about this situation. Have you received a duplicate payment? And what do you plan to do with these unexpected funds? I respond to comments personally and am eager to hear your perspective on this unprecedented event.